Hey everyone, welcome to today's tutorial, which is how to draw realistic, glossy looking eyes using pastel pencils. So I'm going to be showing you how I've done the eyes for both this fox and this jaguar. I get asked about this a lot, how I use soft pastel, which is a super dry matte medium, to create a shiny wet look like this. So we're going to dive into the technique I use, which is actually a lot easier than you might think. So hopefully this will answer some of your questions. And if you have any more, then please let me know in the comments below. And if you're not already, you can follow me on Instagram at Miriam Pinder Art, where I regularly post things you won't find here on YouTube. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel, and make sure you subscribed for more videos like this one. So I'm going to start with this fox. Now this video was recorded as a time lapse and I've just slowed it down a bit for this tutorial so it's easier to follow. This pastel fox is quite big, measuring at 16 by 23 inches, so it's actually really nice to do an eye this big, lots of space to add in that detail. So if you are kind of practicing doing animal eyes, if you do them larger scale, then you can definitely kind of get a lot more detail in there. So as you can see, I've got the general shape marked out and I'm just starting by simply blocking in the darker colours first. So that's the beauty of pastel, the light colours layer so beautiful over the dark, which is something you can't quite do with coloured pencils, for an example. So it also takes the pressure off a bit because you know you can add more layers on top and even make adjustments if you need to. So you can see I use a cotton bud for blending the pastels. This is such a wonderful tool to have. I use these throughout my pastel paintings. They are especially perfect for smudging fine details, so I would really recommend having some in your art supplies. Now, I used to use these paper sticks, but since this video I've switched to bamboo cotton buds. I try to be as planet friendly as I can be as an artist. I think it's really important right now to make better choices wherever we can and take responsibility for this beautiful, beautiful planet of ours, especially when we're making art inspired by the wildlife that we share it with. It's only right to do our bit to help protect them as well as ourselves. So once all the darker layers are kind of added on, I just have a look at where the colour is and just start layering it on. As mentioned before, because you can layer the lighter colours on top, then I kind of just take it from dark to light. So the darker browns went on first, and then I kind of went in with some warmer reds and yellows, and then I've just also been filling in the little white bits and the highlights. So it's really just about picking those little details. I mean, the tiny little strokes in themselves are not complicated. It's only when they all come together that it looks really impressive. As you can see from the first stages, this didn't look impressive at all, and it will look totally different when it's done. So just remember that it doesn't need to look perfect from the start, and that just layering up those different colors and tones and depths is going to make it look so much better when it's done. So I really think the biggest thing to consider when trying to get a glossy looking eye is the values. So you want really dark darks and you want really crisp, bright highlights. So, making sure that you're getting that detail in the eye color, in the iris is always going to be really, really important because you want to show how beautiful that eye is. And then, all of the darks around the eye and then the highlights within the eye as well. That is what's going to really, really make it pop. So as you can see, as I just layer down these reflections, they really just kind of look like I'm just putting white lines over a bit of colour. But then when you actually step away, that is what makes it this amazing reflective looking thing that you've just drawn, and it's kind of just come out of nowhere. So be patient and don't be afraid to experiment. I mean, this was my first proper pastel animal picture, so it was definitely a lot of experimentation, and I kind of just I was just patient with myself, which is just so important. You've just got to do that, and just look at the detail and take it slow when you're drawing it. That really is just the way to do it. And as you can see, when you fill in all of the rest of those little hairs and everything around the eye, it honestly just makes it look so much different as well. So that was the fox. Now, drawing that fox really made me fall in love with pastels. So this was another little piece that I done afterwards, not quite as big, about half the size of this Jaguar. So again, I'm just using the same super simple techniques where I'm kind of just doing the outline first and then just having a look at the reference and picking out those colours, putting the darks first and just layering all of the colours on top. Now, doing this is just honestly just a process of looking at the picture really carefully, you know, making sure you're getting all of those lines and any kind of pattern that's within the eye, making sure you've got that in all of the colours as well. You know, colours often aren't exactly how we think that they are when we first look. It really takes looking super closely and just not being afraid to take your time with it. You know, you really have to pay attention to the small details. That is the trick with doing anything that looks realistic. You know, it's just those tiny little details. And honestly, the longer you spend doing it, the more details you can fit in, you know. So just be patient, take your time with it, and remember that no matter how complex something might look, it's just a series of, you know, shapes, lines, and color. That really is all there is. You know, when you break it down to those tiny little steps that it takes, that is all it is. You know, if you can draw a straight line, then you can do a realistic looking eye, and it is as simple as that. I mean, you don't even need to have to draw a straight line, but you know what I mean. So really just take your time and have a look at those details. Make sure that highlight is super bright against those darker parts, and that is how you will get a glossy looking eye. If you'd like to see more tutorial videos like this one, then please let me know. Or if you follow my work and would like me to explain any of the other techniques that I use, then do let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Your support means so much to me. Take care of yourself and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!